Hey everybody, welcome to SkyTour LiveStream. So, I was talking to Daryl earlier, and he said, I knew you were going to stream, and he's right. Ay, ay, ay. He's right, absolutely, and he's waiting in the wings. Hello there, Daryl, how are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm good. You? Hello, everybody.
Yeah, doing fine.
Yeah, Mark gave me about 10 minutes notice tonight.
I gave everybody about 10 minutes notice. I didn't know we were going to do it. I didn't know if we were going to be doing this tonight, but I figured that we would. Um, this is Measure 33 right here in front of us. It's just beautiful. I mean, look at this beautiful galaxy. Okay, it's a galaxy that's 2.4 to 2.5 million light years away. I think even farther. But look at the detail. We're getting some gorgeous detail in here. Oh yeah, look at this. Wow.
NDC 604.
Right there.
That's the great big one in 33.
Yeah, that's like the Eta Carina Nebula here, I think. About that size. Right? So, let me check something here while we're waiting. Excellent. Wow, okay. So, how is everybody doing tonight?
I'm nominal. Thank
Nominal, good.
you. You?
Fine, thanks. Doing just
How's
fine.
everybody out there in SkyTour land?
Yeah, let's find out, shall we? That'd be cool to find out.
What you meant in the first place?
It's okay. It's alright. Okay.
Petita's great.
Petita's good? Is she out there?
She's great. Yeah, she's
Hey,
here.
there we go. Hey, hi guys. So I just want to say hello to everybody that's out here so far who's come to join us tonight. We'll start out with CND Boy who made it here first. Congratulations. Those Canadians are just on the ball, let me tell you. And Mike C is with us. PG is with us. That's Petita in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Petita. Robin Curtis, otherwise known as DB Girl. She's here. That's Database Girl. And we have you, of course, Daryl. Did you know you're here?
I do now.
I know you didn't have any notice. I gave you very little. I gave all of you very little notice. That's because look what I did. I looked at the sky. I turned on the computer. I went out and I turned on the sky and I did a test shot. A test shot of Measure 33. And that's what I got. How could I not share that with all of you? I had to. I had to do it. So that's what we're doing tonight, and that's why we're doing it, because it's absolutely stunning. What's that?
A good omen, hopefully.
I hope so. I hope so. Bonnie's with us on Ahata 77. How are you doing, Bonnie? Good to see you.
Night of the Galaxies. We need to.
Yeah.
I need to line up some galaxies for you.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Got
it.
one.
Genghis Khan is with us. Hey, Genghis, good to see you again, as always. Daisy and Zoe, nice to see you as well. And, yeah, we've got some time before the moon comes up, Robin. She's asking, about 2 hours before the moon comes up? Yeah, about that. Maybe a little, just about, yeah, just about. Let me take let me just take this object identifier away because we want to see what's going on. And let's also drop our stack window out of the way. Look at this.
That's more like it.
And how about maximizing this too? Boom. Oh, look at that. Now this is live, guys. Live astronomy. You know, this is live. We're looking at a galaxy millions, over 2 million light years away. And we're seeing things like this. See that little cloud? That's an H2 region. That's an ionized hydrogen region like the Orion Nebula in this galaxy over 2 million light years away. Here's another one. Here's a massive one that we talked about before. Here's another one. All right? And down here we have more. Everywhere you look, these little pink regions, these are little tiny nebulae of all kinds. Remember we did the Cocoon Nebula last night? The Cocoon Nebula, same thing. You know, we're looking at these objects like we've got this little guy right there. We've got that little guy right there. Of course, we talked about this one and that one right there. Okay? But we're talking about a huge number of these little dots. They speckle throughout this galaxy. All these hydrogen regions. These are actually star-forming regions. We call them stellar nurseries, right? That's what these are. And we're seeing them from the vantage point of another galaxy, from our own. Now, check out down here in the spiral arms. This region, this is where the stars are formed. This is where this dark dust does its work. It begins to gravitationally condense on its own accord. In space where there's nothing to affect you, that condensation process can happen everywhere. So we get little pockets of condensate, of dust and so forth. And we got something here, we've got something here, something here. In fact, let's bring our Instagram up and let's actually pull this just a little bit to the left a little bit, just to brighten, give us just a bit more brightening. This is too bright, but this is going to show us, this is just to show us what we're looking at. Okay, this gives you an idea where the spiral arms are. Here's more of those H2 regions I talked about before. Okay, just incredible. Wow.
We've got one area way down at the bottom we don't usually see.
Are we talking down here?
Even farther.
Or here?
Scroll down some.
Okay. Oh, down here.
There, yeah. And that little curly Q next to it.
Yeah, look at these little areas right here. This is beautiful. You know, this galaxy is got these very loose spiral arms, and it's interacting with so many things in it. It has all this interaction going on. Like, for instance, right here, look at that object right there. You know what that is? That's a supernova remnant, like the veil, but as seen from our galaxy looking into this galaxy. Here's another one. Okay. Isn't that incredible? We got a supernova there, we got a supernova there. And from a big flat disk perspective, which is what we're looking at here, we got this big flat disk of this galaxy. It's pretty easy to spot those because they stick out like a sore thumb. Here's the one that I think is the best one. Look at this. You've got all these crazy filaments associated with this one. This is beautiful. And yes, another one over there. Some of you might have noticed. Yeah, so we've got an amazing galaxy here. This galaxy is called an SC, so the capital S and little c. That's its designation because it's actually probably it's actually got a we'll say SC for now because it's got another designation too. But I don't want to get into the new classification scheme. But the C stands for loosely wound spiral arms, as opposed to the Andromeda Galaxy, which has tighter spiral arms. It's an SB, okay? So in the new terminology, this would be an S, capital A, C, little c, and the Andromeda Galaxy would be a capital S, capital A, little b, okay? But never mind the new classification. Just know that the tighter galaxies have the smaller letters. So an SA is really tightly wound spiral arms, an SB is less so, and an SC is less than that. And that's what we see here.
It's almost like a weakly barred spiral galaxy.
It almost looks like it's an elongation here, doesn't it?
I was thinking more like about 3 to 9, but yeah.
This would be the bar if it was going to have one. Because the long edge of the galaxy is where that would be the mass concentration. But that's incredible. I don't know, guys. I've been really stunned by this tonight, so I just had to show it to you. I couldn't get away without doing this. I want to say hello to Truth Seeker and NPC 305. NPC stands for non-player character, I assume. But he's definitely a player in the SkyTour livestream. Yeah. Yeah, Truth Seeker says, the faster we go, the closer the galaxies get, dudes. Okay, not exactly, but that's all right. That's an interesting statement, a fun statement.
Farva's here.
Hey, Farva, Sean, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Sean actually called me the other day and wanted me to answer a question for him, and I just didn't get back to him. I'm sorry about that, Sean. So I publicly apologize for not getting back to you right away. But I had just gotten back from Arizona, and as you can see, the telescope is really performing well. Oh my gosh, I'm stunned by how wonderful these things look. It's almost like I don't want to stop. I just want to keep looking at this picture. Let's see if we can actually do some additional analysis. Let's see what it wants to do for processing, and then we'll back off from there. Yeah, see, that's too noisy. It's too much of a what we call a push. So I would actually take this off the peak just a little, maybe a little back the other way. There we go. And then I would drag the mid-range down range a little bit to kind of bring it back into reality. So that's what I would think is perfect. And the color, by the way, absolutely good. Yeah, absolutely perfect. If we do a color balance, I don't think anything's really going to change here.
We'll scroll up for a minute. I thought I saw some, a little tiny thing up at about 11:30.
This guy?
That right there, yeah.
Okay, that looks like a nebula with an associated reflection nebula. But hey, why don't we zoom in and see?
And there's even more going on above it.
Yeah, up here. There's stuff up here. There's a lot of stuff out here that belongs in the galaxy, but you don't see it because you're looking at it through all these stars that are in our galaxy. Those stars are right here, and we're looking at the Messier 33 way out here. So we're seeing our stars in the way. That's confusing a little bit. Beautiful. Here's a hot OB association. Those are O and B stars, and I'm guessing they're what we would call an association by definition. But these are areas that are associations. They formed in the same place. They're kind of moving in the same direction. And we have more of those here, more of them here, 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 and here. It's everywhere. So these spiral arms are exceedingly active. You know what I would call this? I have a great term for this, I think. This is a living galaxy. This is an active living galaxy, in my view. It is to me, a fundamental oasis of life, over 2.5 million light years away. That's how I view this.
Pretty.
There are some galaxies, as Daryl knows and we've talked about, that just don't have a lot going for them because so much has happened to them that much of their gas has been stripped away. There's no dark nebulae in any of them, and as you know, dark nebulae are where it's at. That's where stars and life, eventually in planets, will form in the dark nebula.
This is, I think I've read before that Messier 33 may have gravitationally interacted with Messier 31.
Which is the Andromeda Galaxy, yeah.
Yeah, which helps stir things up like this.
It could be. Hey there, Tim F. and Izabela. Hello.
Hi, Izabela.
Izabela, look at this. Look at this. Look at this galaxy. Messier 33. It's I keep saying this over and over, but I do mean it. I think this is the best we've ever seen it. The guiding is perfect. The galaxy looks gorgeous. And we've already stacked 37 images here. Yeah, that's because before we started the stream, I started doing this, and that's when I decided I'm going to stream. This is just too good to let only me enjoy. See this spiral arm? You got one right here, got one right here, got one right here, all right, one right here, and there's more down below, okay? And we've got this one here, we've got this one here, this one here, this one here, and we've got others over here, one here, one here, one here. There's a lot of spiral arms in here and spurs off of spiral arms, which are really fascinating.
You go way, way down to the bottom. I saw another, I assume, supernova remnant right down there. Yeah, right there. I don't think we've seen before.
Oh, yes, we have. This is the one that we've seen quite a lot, actually. But on a night like tonight, look at the detail we're seeing in it.
Yeah.
That's what we haven't seen before, is all this detail. It's beautiful. Just gorgeous. Wow. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, Gina Young, how are you? Gina Young has joined us, along with Simon Thompson and Cindy Murphy. Sorry for the short notice, guys, but as I said, I started taking a picture of this galaxy right here, Messier 33 in Triangulum, and I said, I have to share this. I can't just... I was doing a test shot. This was a test shot. I wasn't intending to go anywhere else tonight but this galaxy and just do a bunch of different test shots. I started taking a picture and I said, I've got to stay here. I dropped the gain from 400 down to 300 and started taking pictures at 40 seconds a piece, and this is what we're getting. And we've stacked, well, we're coming up on 40 and 40, so we're going to stop at 40. Man, look at that, though.
A lot of detail in that one over on the far right, too.
I hear, yeah.
No, even to the lower right of that one.
Oh, right here?
Yes.
Oh,
see
yeah.
the kind of Y-shaped dark cloud in it?
Yeah, and you see this right here. We got another one there. Supernovae return to the interstellar medium all kinds of elements that they made in their cores and that were present in their atmospheres when they were made, when the stars were made. So, very interesting stuff. Okay, let's... we've got Messier 33 as a galaxy saved right there. All right. And let's just bring this back out here so people can see what we're looking at. Okay. All right, so we saved it.
Can you open it up one more time before we move on?
Yes. I'm just going to save it exactly as seen just so I have it. Okay. Here we are. Get rid of this. And let's, we can remove that guy because we don't need that. All right. Let's just do a survey while we're here.
That's really something.
Look at that. Oh, how utterly amazing. I think we need to do the same thing for the Andromeda Galaxy. What do you think?
Sure.
Hey, Prow, how you doing?
All new to Galaxy night.
Mm-hmm. And you're putting together a list of galaxies for us to see. It's all on you. Yes, it is. I'm kidding. You said a few.
I can think of two others offhand that you didn't like.
What?
But I have one in mind that everybody will like, I think.
Okay. Well, let's just go for it. Let's, first of all, we'll go with the Andromeda and do this with the Andromeda Galaxy. Oh, how beautiful. I almost don't want to clear this buffer. I just want to leave that in there. But that picture is there. All right, this picture is there. Let me see if I can play with the histogram just a little bit here. Let me try this. Let's do this. What will this give us? Let's try this here. Yeah, that's just to show you what else is in here. So if we do processing, we can pull this stuff out. Wow, look at all that stuff in there. These diagonal streaks are a problem with our camera, but don't worry about that. We get rid of those, and they don't show up in the normal manner in which we take the photos. Look at that. Those beautiful dark nebulae in the core here. Those are just stunning. Oh, okay. I will be back to you again. This will be up on the database within just a couple minutes if it's not there already. I'm sure Izabela's already looking. Alright, let's get rid of this and go back to our 1 second night vision mode. This is the 1 second night vision mode right here. So let's back out now. I did do a critical focus as well tonight already.
By the way, you have almost 3 hours. Well, more like a little 2 hours 40 minutes left now. The moon rises at 10:36 in Arizona at the observatory.
Good. I didn't even look. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't even gonna stream tonight, and then I realized I gotta share this. But let's get back to the observatory. I'm gonna see that telescope up there. All right, so now you see where it's pointing. It's actually pointing out the back. okay, out that way, okay, and looking up in the sky. That's pretty good. And Andromeda is even higher. So when I come up to our linked system here, we can go up from here to Andromeda, which is really high in the sky, and there we go. And now let's go there. And first things first, let's bring back our computer. Come in here and say go. And here we go. You'll see Andromeda come in here in just a second. There it is.
I got it, Izabela.
Oh, you put up the
Yeah, she says she's having a problem with it.
Really?
Yep, it opened for me.
Okay.
Anyway, there it is.
All right. Thank you, Daryl.
And here is the link to the front page of the server.
All right. Thank you. All these pictures are up there for you to take free and do with them what you would like. We might do this as a composite because I liked how we did this before. What I'll do is I'm going to do this upper half of the galaxy first. All right. And then we'll do the lower half of the galaxy. Maybe we'll spread it around. We're going to be at 300 and we'll do 40-second shots as well. Let's get our system guiding. You see up there the numbers, it says searching. Okay, now it's initialized, and when those numbers start changing, okay, we're now guiding, and those numbers represent fractions of a pixel that it's moving in order to stay guiding. Okay, we're stable now, so 40 seconds is good, and we can now go into our live stack mode. Here we go. And we are now live stacking, and it's an auto hide situation where it'll hide. Okay. And we are doing this guy, the Andromeda Galaxy, Measure 31. And the first one is going to be here in 10 seconds. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. And we should see it. There it is. Okay. As much as you save space for it, there's always more out there, it seems. And let's get the good color rendering here. That's really a good coloring. These are accurate colors. They're not inaccurate. Okay. Right. We have much of the galaxy here. See this bright blue region down here? This is, again, hot young blue stars, O and B type stars. Most of the radiation they give off is in the ultraviolet, which is very high energy. Gorgeous. So we're going to do this upper part where we have this galactic star clouds here. All right, and let's zoom in on it a little bit. We've only stacked 2, but let's try. All right, I want to see what it thinks it should do. That's better, actually. I like that. This gives it a softer look. You can actually see the details better. Do hit the thumbs up, guys. And let me pull the name away. We don't need that right now. Come here, you. All right. Only the high-tech gesture-based design here. All right. So here's another part of the galaxy that's a star-forming region in Measure 31. It's beautiful, and I remember as a kid trying to actually get an idea of what the Andromeda Galaxy actually looked like. you know, as a child. I kept looking up in the sky through my telescope, trying to figure out what this thing looks like. I could see this. I could see this dark lane in my telescope. I could see this and this dark lane. And I couldn't see any of this stuff. That wasn't visible. But as time went on and I started getting access to bigger and bigger instruments, I started taking pictures. And one telescope I used, which was just amazing, was a 24-inch Schmidt Cassegrain system. Actually, 24-inch Schmidt camera at the university where I was getting my astronomy degree. And I'd go out there throughout the winter, throughout the summer, in the spring, and I would just take pictures. And the views in that telescope were just unbelievable. And then they used a 20-inch refractor, 20-inch diameter lens. That's huge. The telescope was about 30 feet long, maybe more. It was called an Alvin Clark refractor, one of the best in the world. And that one we used to measure the distances to nearby stars. And in doing so, our universities made history, because we found distances that were unknown, and we filled in a lot of the catalogues. So that was really cool. Now, as Daryl has pointed out time and again, we have 2 additional galaxies here. This is Measure 32, and this is Measure 110. You remember those, all of you. And if we zoom in on this guy, I want to show you something. I mentioned that these galaxies, these are called elliptical galaxies, and they lost most of their dark dust, and so they typically are devoid of dust. But this one actually has some patches left. So that's strange, because we don't normally see an elliptical galaxy with any dust in it like this. Usually they're just, oh, look at that, double satellite went through. Usually they're just going to be like Measure 32 over here.
Seeing stuff in 110, I see.
Yeah, it's like the dark lanes. There's some dark dust right in here.
Can you zoom in a little more?
Only if you ask.
A little dark area up there, about 11 o'clockers.
Yeah, and then this one. It goes right around the middle of the nucleus here.
A light spot down around 5:30.
Right here. That looks like a star that might be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You do see several foreground stars there.
Yeah.
But to me, that looked almost like it's inside the.
It does.
And I can see a kind of a curved gradation of light up at about 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock inside the nucleus.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Hello, James420. What's up? How are you? Thanks for dropping by. NPC1, this is his alternate account. Good. Oh, yeah. The moon is pretty, but, when we're doing deep sky, we'd prefer it not be up. We have actually a couple more hours before we have to worry about the moon at all.
2 hours, 36 minutes.
There you go. So we have 9 images stacked here. Let's zoom in up top and see what we have here. Look at these beautiful pillows of gorgeous clouds of dust and gas that we're seeing. Look at this bluish region right here with a hydrogen emission region. Okay, this is a hydrogen emission region we're looking at right here. Okay, where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, and then above here we have some blue hot young stars in here. Here's some more hot young stars. Look at this beautiful nebula right here, mixed into this dark nebula that's running throughout the outer regions of the galaxy. And look at this beautiful weird tadpole of hydrogen emission right there. Another one right here. Just so much. There's another one down here I want to look for. Here's one right here. Okay, that's a stellar nursery. Here's another one right here. Wow. And then we're going to find another one down here. It's right here. Alright, we have one there. I mean, we can just count all night long because there's just innumerable ones. But it's just something else. Oh. Here's another one right here. We're going to do the lower part of the galaxy because there's actually more stuff down here that's really cool.
So we identified globular clusters in Andromeda before. I was reading that they should be visible.
They should be visible, and they're probably guys like this right here and this one right here. Those are probably potentially globular clusters in this galaxy. Large reflection nebula right here. Yeah. Mottled dust in here. Let's see if we can actually get some contrast going here now. Check it out. Go away. Alright. Well, I hope you guys are happy that I chose to stream tonight. I certainly am. It's just so gorgeous. It's like, wow. There's things I haven't seen before that show up whenever I do this. Wow. There's that beautiful nebula right there. You can clearly see it reflecting into the dusty regions. Crazy. Look at this. Look at the extent. This galaxy goes on and on. There's more out here. Beautiful nebulae there. I mean, this is, I just can't help it. This is live. You just can't get this. You don't get this anywhere. Holy cow. I'm just so excited that we can do this. This is just so cool. And I'm doing it from 2,500 miles away at the moment, you know. That thing in that telescope's that far out. I might as well be using a space telescope. Hey, that's an idea, Daryl.
What's that?
We'll just launch our own space telescope.
Sure.
What? Is that hard? Okay. Okay, we've got 15 stacked. We're going to stop it here. And I'm going to make a note. This is M31. It's a galaxy. And then we're going to save. Save it like this. That's our raw FITS file. FITS is an astronomical file format. But you can get FITS viewers online for free. NASA has one. FITS View, I think it's called. We're going to save exactly as seen, and that's going to give you this PNG file. So the PNG file, the PNG file, that's a graphic file. You double click on it, it'll come up. And then you can do whatever you like with those if you want. Gina Young says, so beautiful. There has to be more life out there too. I agree, Gina. I agree 100%. And in fact, I wrote a book about it. It's called The Populated Universe. And I talk about how galaxies are the seeds of life. And of course, dark dust and so forth is where it's at. And it's a book based on looking at our Earth, figuring out how life happened here, and projecting it outward to say how it can happen elsewhere. It also discusses exoplanets, which is my astronomical specialty. When I see stars, I don't just see stars. I see star systems. Okay, because when you look at every star in this view, every one of these stars you see, these bright dots, these are all up here in our galaxy. And you can't see the individual stars in the Andromeda Galaxy because they're so far away. They look like haze of light. But this nucleus is full of millions and millions of stars in here. Alright, perhaps billions. This galaxy has just over 1 trillion stars in it. Compared to our universe, our island universes, our galaxy, with 100 billion. Maybe up to 400 billion, but that's unknown. We know less about our own galaxy, actually, in some ways, than we do about others. We can't even see ours. It's like being in the forest and not being able to see the rest of the forest. But on a distant hill, you can see the whole forest, and you can say anything about that. But what you can't say is what forest you're in. And we have a forest. We can't even see the center of our galaxy. In our galaxy, if this is our Milky Way, we're right about here. And we can't see all the way to here very easily. We got a little tiny window through which we can see, known as Bod's window. But we can't see out here. That's just speculative. We don't know what's out there. Where the arms come around and they're within our line of sight, we can see those and speculate what's beyond. But it is just speculation. For some weird reason, if the galaxy just ended there, well, we wouldn't know it. It doesn't, but if it did, we wouldn't know it. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this because I've saved it. And there we go. We're gonna go back to our 1 second night vision mode, because the night vision mode is very good for looking at objects and seeing where we're going to be. And now I'm just going to take us down to what I consider the better half of the galaxy. We're going to the galaxy's better half, Daryl.
Which galaxy? Our galaxy?
This one. The Andromeda Galaxy. Yeah. Okay, so
you
this.
Look at 1 second view there, you can see faint outliers showing up.
Yeah, look at that. You can see that the hot OB stars, those OB association stars right there. Absolutely incredible. And knowing full well how this works, I'm going to actually take us down a little more. Okay. And that's good. And then we're going to be searching, and we'll wait for our acquisition of the guide stars. There is a second telescope on top of this telescope which is actually guiding for us. And it's actually pretty darn accurate. Alright, we are going now. And I'm going to set us to 40 seconds again. And we're going to wait to stabilize. Okay, and we're stabilized. So now I will start this and then get into the live stack. So this is the other half that we did before. And now we're down here doing this lower half. You're going to see that it's more blue than the top half. I mean, you can see that here, but you're going to see it very, very powerfully. And when we zoom in, you're going to be able to see massive clusters of stars. Over 2 million light years away. That means you're seeing this galaxy as it was 2 million years ago, just so you know.
When Hubble made his studies of M31, I know he was looking at the Cepheid variables and such.
Correct.
Which telescope was he using? Was it the 100-incher?
I thought he was using...
Observatory?
I think he was using the 48-inch Schmidt. Was he not?
No.
I've seen pictures of him at the 48-inch Schmidt prime focus. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what he did cosmological redshift studies with, though. Was that the Hooker telescope you're talking about?
Could be. I thought it was, the 100-inch telescope. Is that the Hale telescope, the Hooker telescope?
Yeah, the Hale's the 200. Polymer.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, look at that. Ah. See, I moved it up, and look at you see more stuff down here. Ha ha ha. Thought you were gonna get me, did you, Mr. Andromeda? Not this time. Fare thee well, whippersnapper. Alright, let's go look and see. I still got me, there's more. That's okay though, look at it. Alright, so we're gonna just do a color balance here. Alright, it's gonna take down that. Okay.
Hubble did live to get to use the 200-inch telescope, the Hale scope at Palomar. He was the first astronomer to use the new 200-inch telescope.
He was riding around in the observer's basket. At the top of that telescope, where the eyepiece would be, they actually had it's called the observer's cage, and they would actually sit inside the telescope and ride around with it, you know. And you could be like 4 stories off the floor, and if you got cold, too freaking bad. You know, you had to be all dressed up in wool. You couldn't have a heater. You were up there in the very, very cold metal cage, working at the prime focus of that telescope.
Okay, he was using the 100-inch Hooker telescope.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He studied Andromeda.
Yeah. He used the 48-inch Schmidt camera, too, at Palomar.
He was at, this was at Wilson Observatory when he used the Hooker.
Hedrick. Hey there, Hedrick. How you doing? Dagger, what's happening? Isn't this pretty? Glad you found us, Hedrick. I mentioned to you that we were streaming at 9:30, but I think I told you that at 9:29 and 30 seconds. That's the Hedrick. So that's okay. Yes, we are, Cindy. We are time travelers indeed. By the way, Cindy, you will now notice that you are a mod. I meant to do yours yesterday when I did Hedrick's. But now you have a wrench, and you're dangerous like all the rest.
C&D doesn't have a wrench, does he?
You sure?
Is he still here?
Yeah, C&D boy has a wrench. If he doesn't, he should. I think I gave him a wrench a long time ago. But you know what happens if they don't use it? It will revert and they lose it. Hey, Michael Klagus, I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Yeah, C&D boy has a wrench. How you doing, Michael? You still out there? Look at this. I gotta say, you know, looking at this end of the galaxy, this is definitely the business end of the Andromeda Galaxy. There's a lot happening down here. Look at that beautiful nebula we saw it before. Oh man, this is something else. And the guiding is just perfect. Izabela, we the Blue Wrenches. We are legend, or Legion, yeah. Well, don't worry. I mean, when people that are here for a period of time, they get the Blue Wrenches kind of automatically, you know. And we're happy to give those to people that help us out. Wow. So SkyTour LiveStream is going to be free. We're never going to charge you to come to see a stream or get pictures like this. I was thinking of adding a paywall feature in the future where we actually take images and do very, very fine digital processing on the images and allow you to see the month's highly processed images, so you can see a lot more detail than just what these show. And these are beautiful as it is. If that's something you guys are interested in, then I'll follow through with it. But if nobody wants to do it, then we won't. But I think it's just kind of a cool opportunity for us. We actually just, you know, we have to start paying for our internet, you know. It's like, it's pretty expensive. The price of our Starlink went up to $110 a month.
Hey, Elon got to pay for Twitter.
Let me tell you this, okay? I saw people bashing Elon Musk, and I actually rose to his defense. Not that he cares, but it was like, really? How about all the hedge funds managers out there that are skimming money off the top from people and robbing people blind, like the Bernie Madoffs that haven't been caught yet? Complain about those guys. They don't give anything back. Elon Musk has given the internet to the world. And he's created a reusable rocket system that's going to help us get to the stars. So I'm sorry, if you want to complain about the guy because he was born into riches, well, complain about people like Paris Hilton. She was born into wealth too, and what's her claim to fame? She's a socialite. She has a dog in her purse. Okay, she doesn't have any redeeming value other than she's a pretty face potentially. So,
I thought her 15 minutes of fame were up a long time ago.
yeah, but you get my point, right? Elon Musk,
Yeah.
he's a real guy that deserves the title.
Actually, she became famous in a rather sleazy fashion.
Yes, as James 420 said. James, we did not hide your comment. It automatically did that on you. But yeah, James is right. James put up there that she did a tape. And so I agree that, that made her famous, and it was stupid. Elon Musk doesn't have any tapes like that. He's just helping the world get internet. So, think about it. You're in Rwanda, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. You can have the internet. You can surf. You can actually provide education to the children in the villages because you have access to the internet. Hello? Isn't that what we want? We want to educate children. We want to educate people. And Starlink is the way to do it. And that's why I put up with the occasional satellite trail through my images. Yeah.
I think it's envy is what it is.
You think what?
All the people ragging on Elon Musk, it's envy.
Yeah, because they didn't do it, right? They didn't create PayPal, Yeah, so they didn't create the means by which people could do all these wonderful things. So hey, I get it. I understand. But why don't you pick on someone that isn't low-hanging fruit? You pick on the guy that's out there doing it, rather than the people hiding in the background, the sleaze bags that are robbing you of your money. Okay, like I said, the Bernie Madoffs of the world. Yep. Anyway, that's it. No more soapbox. Man, this is pretty. Okay, Simon Thompson says Starlink over here in Australia have just half the cost of the hardware. Not sure if it's the same in other parts of the world. Speeds are supposed to be limited though. Simon, I heard that too, and actually the prices here in the States are actually going to go down for Starlink as well. Let me ask you a question. When have you ever heard of someone offering a product and they start reducing the prices, right? Yeah, there you go. Now you see, okay, that shows you that their plan is not to pull money out of people's wallets, but to give them something they can afford and reach for the stars in a way that they can do with internet service. So I'm all for it. What can I say? Yes, he's my cousin. No, I'm just kidding. But if I was related, I'd still be proud of him. This is beautiful. Look at now. These are the stars I told you we were going to zoom in on. Look at these. Watch. Look at those beautiful. This beautiful cluster of hot blue stars. Wow. There's another one right here. Another one here. Another one here. You can see that they're kind of following the curvature of this dark tendril, which happens sometimes. Jenny is here. Jennifer. I just talked to Jennifer Miko the other day. Hi, Jen. It's good to see you. Sort of. I mean, I can't see you. But it's nice that you're here. This is the Andromeda Galaxy we're looking at, guys. This is the second photograph. We did the upper part. So this is now the lower part of Measure 31, the Andromeda Galaxy. And the upper part is saved to the server. Very nice to make a showcase object if you want. Look at this, Daryl. Look at this area. Holy cow, what's that? Never saw that. Let's pull off the name. And then go zoom in on that. This is a very complex region down here. Check it out. Look at that. Look at the complexity down here. I don't know what it is. I just feel that there's life there. Looking back at us. Saying, is there life there? You know? Yeah. I
imagine being out in the outskirts like of the galaxy like that, they must have a heck of a view.
Well, or not. You know, they're looking back. Their galaxy's their galactic bulge is gonna look bright from there. You know.
Maybe it'd be comparable to us seeing the Milky Way from the dark sky location.
Maybe so.
Probably better.
Yeah, because it'll be more concentrated, so it'll probably be brighter for them. Wow. Okay, we've done 19 here, so we'll stop it at that because
40 seconds and 300 games seems to be a good combination tonight.
it does, and I was experimenting earlier, and that seemed to be the magic ticket for tonight. Okay, 20 frames, and we'll pause it here and save it again to the M31 Galaxy directory, which you can go and grab from SkyTourLive.com right there. SkyTourLive.com is the portal into all of our data, into everything we do. Tells you about us. If you feel like donating to us, you can there if you feel like it. But all the links take you to the database where these photos are stored, and it tells you how to get to them. And there's even a photo service. You can go get photographs and have them printed on canvas, on paper, framed under glass, printed on metal. Okay, the Andromeda Galaxy on metal is absolutely stupefying. It's just beautiful. All right, let's see here. I know I saved. I'm gonna do it again, just to do it. I might have an extra file up there, but it's okay. Save exactly as seen. All right, there we go. Okay, Daryl. I did Measure 33 and Measure 31, and you're the cleanup batter. What do you want to do?
Well, I think it's too early for NGC 253. It's going to be in your southeastern sky, I think. Should be clear of the road.
Let's see.
Pretty far south.
NGC 253?
Yep, it's in Sculptor.
Yeah, the Sculptor Galaxy, right?
Below Cetus.
Yeah, let's find out. Yeah. Here it is, right here. NGC 253. Shall we go?
Sure.
All right, folks, watch the telescope. It's going to swing right around and start facing us. All right, there it goes. Now, I got rid of I stopped using the waypoint technology where the telescope would find a waypoint star. And the reason I did that is because it was doing consistently incorrect motions. There it is. And what I ended up doing was taking it out, and it turns out that we don't even need it. It's just as accurate without it. So we're very, very happy to do this. Okay, let's head east. Hey, Cosmic Ray, how you doing?
James Dugan is here.
Hey, James. And Alanis is here. Hello, Alanis. Yeah. I think the Sculptor Galaxy is going to be a gem tonight. Yeah, Robin, sorry about the whirlpool. Okay, Cosmic Ray says, new NASA study, all intelligent life, they argue, has likely destroyed itself before reaching a sophisticated enough point in evolution to support such an encounter. You know what? I'd love to know how they could argue that. They don't have anything to go by except the human race. And if they're suspecting that we're going to destroy ourselves, then they're not having a whole lot of faith.
Isn't that what they call the great filter?
Yeah, and I don't believe that. I don't believe, in fact, at all that.
The one Ray is talking about, I think I saw that yesterday.
Okay.
Is more climate alarmism, is what it was.
Mm-hmm. Izabela says she remembers the Sculptor Galaxy. Yeah, I'm sure you do. This was a really fun little galaxy. It has a gorgeous patterning inside, and you'll see as we get going here. All right, we're stabilizing now in our stream guiding.
Sometimes it's called the Silver Dollar Galaxy, and
we'll see why.
It's very dusty, and it's I believe it's a starburst galaxy too.
I believe it is. Okay, so now we're going into our stack. We're out of the night vision mode. And this is NGC 253. Now, for those that wonder what that NGC thing means, new NGC means New General Catalog, and it's a catalog of astronomical objects, and there are over 7,500 of them, and even more. So we end up having the Measure catalog. We have the NGC catalog, we have the Index catalog, IC, right, and we have several more catalogs on top of that. All right, so there's our first 40-second shot, and let's go back in here. Let's do a color balance right now. Balance that color. There we go, and let's actually. 40 seconds is almost too bright. Let's drop it down a little bit. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Look at that. Alright. In the galaxy, you can see the fringe goes off a little bit at each end. Alright. And let's just darken it slightly. Alright, that increases our contrast. Now let's zoom in, shall we? Why not? Because we can. Wow, look at all that dust. This looks really beautiful tonight. You can see the almost like a swirling pattern created by the spiral arms. You have this dark dust in here. It's a very dusty galaxy. Isn't the Sculptor Galaxy is not a barred spiral, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
Our Milky Way was once compared to this galaxy, saying that our Milky Way was like this. But in fact, our Milky Way is more like a different type of galaxy. It's a barred spiral. It's got an extended nucleus. Simon, thank you. Thank you so much. It's very kind. Thank you very much.
It's classified in SAB, parentheses, small s, C.
SAB?
SAB Galaxy, yes.
B as in Baker.
Yes.
Okay, so then it is a barred spiral. So that's a capital S, capital A, capital B, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a barred spiral classification. But
He calls it an intermediate spiral.
Yeah. It's one of those barred spirals that doesn't yet look like a true barred spiral, but it looks like a spiral and a barred spiral. So that's what that SAB classification is about. That's the new classification we talked about on SkyTour Radio.
And it is a starburst galaxy.
Yep.
undergoing a period of intense star formation.
Yes, I mean, look at this dusty core in here. Thank you for looking that up. Let's zoom in
This
some more.
galaxy was discovered by Caroline Herschel,
How about that?
William Herschel's
Sister.
ran in the family.
Yeah.
And about half a century later, John Herschel, William's son, he observed it with an 18-inch metallic mirror reflector at the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa.
So he used a speculum mirror as well?
Evidently, yeah.
The Herschels were rather interesting. William Herschel had a 43-inch mirror that was a polished, a curved metallic surface made of what's called speculum metal. And the speculum metal had to be polished every night, sometimes more than once, in order to keep it shiny so they could do observations. And that's what he did. That's incredible.
Tarnished very quickly.
It did. Especially, in England, okay, where it's always humid. That would tarnish during the night as you're observing. Then you have to go down, open it up, and polish it right there on the spot. And when I say go down there and open it up, you'd have to sometimes climb down like 2 or 3 stories, down ladders at night, and go to the back of the telescope, open up the access, and polish that mirror right there on the spot. Can you imagine that?
Who was the guy had the huge telescope back in the day? He was the first one that saw spiral galaxies, spiral nebulas.
Yeah.
Earl of Ross?
Maybe.
Like
I just realized something here. We've taken 7 images. I'm going to clear it, and you're going to say, why are you doing that? I'm going to get rid of the stack. And the reason is because we need to refocus. Our temperature dropped 7 degrees since we started. So I'm going to take us out of here and move us over a bit. Alright, so let's go back to our 1 second. It's going to be even so much nicer actually when we do this. So, okay. There's night vision mode. Alrighty, so let's just head north, and we'll come back south. I want to get the galaxy out of the image in order to do the focusing process. That way we don't have to worry about the galaxy throwing off the focusing algorithm. That's all.
it was Lord Ross.
Lord Ross, okay, yeah.
72-inch diameter mirror.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, focus assistant. We're going to... and let's pull it out so we can bring it back in. There we go. Alright, and now we're going to scan inwards and focus up. And we're trying to build a curve. I've said this before. I want to build a curve so that we have a curve over here, of the out of focus to in focus to out of focus. And where that center of the curve is, that's the best focal point, and that's where we're going to actually have the telescope find its way back to, as you'll see. So each of those red arrows is a focus point, and it's going across, and it's going to continue to do that until it gets to the other side, where it goes through focus and then back into focus. Or sorry, through the focus and back out of focus again. And you'll see the curve being built, and the curve will be normalized. You'll see it compressed on the screen, and then you'll see a center point appear in the middle, and that's the interpolated center of the focus curve.
My point in all that was it was still a speculum mirror, 72 inches in diameter, and
That's a
it was
lot.
still a speculum metal.
That's huge.
That was the world's largest telescope from when it was built in 1845
Wow.
until they built the 100-inch upper telescope.
Wow.
1900.
That's pretty cool. There it is. There's our focal point right there. There it is. So once it's finished, all right, then I can say go to the best focus point position, which is there. And now you'll see that the focus will go all the way across and then all the way back. All right. And then we're back in focus.
It's called the Leviathan of Parsonstown. And,
Okay.
the telescope had two primary mirrors. Because the speculative metal tarnished so quickly, they would put one into service and take the other one out and repolish it.
Wow.
One was always in the process of being polished.
Wow. Well, it's 72 inches, I can imagine. I wonder how much time they got on it before they had to do that. Because depending on the night, they could have to do something about it during that one night. I can hear him clicking. He's looking it up.
Oh, I'm answering David.
Oh, okay. All right, guys, we're going to go back to this now.
And the telescope was in Ireland, so imagine a human environment.
Is it even clear in Ireland? Hey, just give David Schmidt a cookie, will you?
I'll eat one for you, David.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, here we go. All right, so this... here's why I did this before, guys. We're taking a 40-second shot. If you zoom in, you notice this star is not in focus. So none of the stars are in focus. So now they are. So we can clear this, and it's going to look a lot nicer.
Well, they're not really Oreos. They're sort of like Oreos.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I have ginger snaps too, David.
Wow.
If you like old man cookies.
All right, see how much better that is? Now we're focused. Now the detail is going to just pop.
There you go.
So here's what's going to happen. Now, you notice the noise in the image here? It's got this modeling around it, okay? That's noise generated by the sensor. The sensor is running at minus 15.4 degrees Celsius. I went down another 5 degrees from 10. And it eliminates noise. But now when you stack, this random noise gets eliminated. Watch now. Here it comes. Ready? Watch the difference. Look at that. Now it's refining itself, and it's going to keep doing that with every stacked image. It's going to refine the stack, and we're going to see this being almost black space afterwards. Beautiful though. Look at that. Very impressed with the guiding. This is amazing. We could probably do 5-minute shots now, but I'm not going to make people sit through that. Wow.
This galaxy would be much better known if it was farther north.
Yeah, you've said that before, and I think you're right.
Down in the southern sky.
Yeah.
NPC, we looked at M32. It's one of the satellite galaxies in Andromeda.
What's measure 23?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that one up.
All right. Live galaxy hunting. You can't beat it. Oh, here we go. There you go. That's what we're looking at right there. Wow. We've stacked 4 images.
Messier 23 is a open star cluster in Sagittarius. So
Okay.
we couldn't see it anyway. It's gone for the season.
Yeah, it is. look at that. Also, certain pixels are randomly unresponsive on some images, and that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing a random unresponsive red image, a red pixel, a blue one, a green one, a blue one here, a red one there, a green one there. That changes with every image. So you have a certain percentage of these dead pixels, but they come back to life. You know, it has nothing to do with the performance of the camera overall. Luckily we don't get any over our objects, which is interesting, and I think it has to do with the fact that we see them in areas where there's only low energy hitting the sensor. We don't generally see them in areas where there's lots of light hitting the sensor, and that's actually very grateful. I'm very grateful for that. Look at that. Oh, let's see if we can do some contrast on this.
I might have a challenging object for you.
Okay.
Wow.
No more of those tiny little galaxies. Let's see what we got out here.
Well.
Oh, it's a tiny one, is it? All right, well, I get you now.
It's 5 tiny ones.
All right. Or is this a Caldwell? Or is it... is it a Caldwell chain?
Stephan's Quintet.
Oh, Stephan's Quintet. Okay.
It's not easy to see in a 10-inch telescope, but it might come out better in imaging. It will be. They will be small though. But then you'd be able to say you've seen Stephan's Quintet.
Yeah, I thought we saw it. Barry Kaczynski says, when I first started here, I felt sorry for you, all out there alone in the desert and the observatory. Then I learned you're at your home much better, and I can enjoy the streams more. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad. But if you joined us way in the beginning of SkyTour livestream, and Daryl knows this too, I was actually out in the dome in 20-degree weather doing the streams, and in the middle of winter, I'd be doing these streams, and you could hear me shaking in my voice.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you only do that so many times before you say, okay, I have to just, make a change, because my health has to come first here, or else I can't be any good to anybody. Look at this. We're looking down on top of this galaxy. It's almost like a pizza pie. The Pizza Pie Galaxy. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful glow in this orangey, yellow-orange center. Let's see what the
Massive black hole there.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger than Milky Ways.
Yeah.
Marc Prow has a question of you.
All right, Prow, where are we? Let's see here. Oh, what would improve if you did longer exposures? Would you get more detail? Well, actually, Prow, every object we take an image of has a certain time limit beyond which you get diminishing returns. I'll give you an example. This galaxy here, we can see the core of the galaxy with these beautiful, dark, tendrils that are kind of wrapping around that core. But the core itself, right, the very core is overexposed, and it's saturated the sensor. And that's at 40 seconds at 300 gain. Okay, so 40 seconds at 300 gain kind of overexposes this core just a tiny bit, but we can see most of it. So this is a good compromise. If we did a 5-minute exposure of this galaxy, we wouldn't see any more detail per se, unless there was a very faint extension to the galaxy that we're trying to reach. But if we would do it at the expense of losing the entire core, this whole core would be one bright yellowish orange blob. So you pick the exposures that will provide the most amount of detail for the most amount of coverage of the object, and that's what we're doing here. So what would improve would be faint areas that might be faint in the in there. My face would ever come back into focus here. Come here, you. There we go. We get improvement in the faint areas, but we would not get improvement per se in the detail, because a lot of it would get overexposed. Raw BB, what's going on? I teach astronomy at a small school in California, and I just posted your link for my students. Thank you for this. Hey, you're welcome. You know, we do classes, you know. We do long distance classes, so if you want anyone to teach astronomy for you, we can do it for you. We might have to, you know, if you're teaching during the day in California, obviously we may have to figure out a way to do that. It wouldn't be in person. Well, it'd be in person, but it wouldn't be live. We could teach based on the objects we've taken. But that's really cool. I really enjoy that. So there we go. This is 13 stacked with a Sculptor Galaxy. I'm really glad we took the time to focus, because look at that. Let me just gesture that away. We don't need that now. Hey Richard Spencer, what's happening? Nice to see you. Hey Cindy Murphy, he is probably a good teacher. Astronomers tend to be good teachers. And this is something I've discovered, you know, because they have the most patience, because they've had to explain the most obtuse things that the universe has to offer and make it understandable, you know. One of these days we'll start talking about how spiral arms form in a galaxy. You want to talk about obtuse, you want to talk about what? You know, that's one there. It's called density wave theory, and it's one way. And there's also galactic interactions with neighboring galaxies that actually induce spiral formation in a galaxy. So the spiral arms may come about through that kind of interaction.
Gravitational interaction?
Yes. And there's one galaxy in particular that Robin asked about earlier that actually has spiral arms that we think might have been induced by interaction with the satellite galaxy that's going around it, and that is the Whirlpool Galaxy. Interesting. So the whole world of spiral arms became very complicated in the last several years, because if you think about it, right, just from a simple reasoning, galaxies are born with spiral arms. If they were born with spiral arms, then they're rotating, and wouldn't they wind up over billions of years? They would have been all wound up, and we shouldn't see any loose spirals at all. We should just see galaxies that are all tightly wound. Maybe most with no spiral arms, but we do see spiral arms, and like the one we saw earlier, Messier 33, its spiral arms are loose. Well, it's been around for billions of years. How come that galaxy has such loose spiral arms if they're supposedly winding up? The answer came from a study on how galaxies rotate, and I can't. I have a method. I can draw the curve, but I don't want to do that here. I can draw it, but it'll just be a mess. The spiral arms of the galaxy don't. They do differentially rotate. The core rotates a little faster than the outside, but it turns out that for the most part, they're actually rotating in a way that makes them rotate more like a rigid disk. And that's an exaggeration a little bit. The stuff on the outside does move slower than the stuff on the inside, but not enough to make the galaxy wind up. So they trail behind, but over billions of years. So that's where the concept of dark matter came from. Something had to be a cohesive envelope, basically, around the entire galaxy and all the spiral arms that allowed the galaxy to rotate almost as if it was a solid unit, like a record player record spinning on a record player. Okay? What? You don't like dark matter? That's too bad, pal. I know you don't like dark matter. But until we understand better, see, dark matter I can believe exists. Dark energy is the weird one that has nothing to do with dark matter. The only reason the word dark is in both of those names is because we don't know what it is.
As for dark matter, it's just I prefer the more prosaic versions, explanations, rather than get into something really exotic. I'd rather think it's like matter trapped inside black holes or something of the sort. Dark energy is the one I would have a real problem with.
Yeah, dark matter, I think, is everybody understands the potential for dark matter. And let's be honest, okay? If you told someone 50 years ago that quantum entanglement would be something that extends to all things in the universe, you would be laughed out of a school, you would be disbarred from your position, lose your tenure in an observatory setting in academia, because we didn't really understand what that was, what quantum entanglement really was back then. But now we do. If you have a solid object and you split it in half, this is very, very obviously simplified, and you take half of that and you put it in laboratory A, and the other half you put in laboratory B, and you measure the spin of the characteristic of electrons, the spin on the electrons in laboratory B over here, the spin can be either up or down. And if you measure the spin up, you know that the complementary electrons in the other lab are all spin down. If these are up, these are down. You don't even have to measure these guys over here to know that. And that's something that is a tenet of quantum entanglement. In a sense. Again, it's a simplified example. But if you do measure, okay, the other ones, and then you say, okay, they are spin down just as I thought, and then you change them to spin up, then the other electrons go to spin down. And it doesn't matter how far away they are. They could be light years apart in practice from the theoretical perspective. And if they are light years apart, it means that somehow they're still communicating. And that is why Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. And it wasn't taken too seriously until recently, and now we know that it exists. Okay, let's
mentioned in chat that Lord Ross guy.
Yes.
I mentioned a while ago. He was the first person to see spiral structure.
Mm-hmm.
Spiral arms. But he didn't know what galaxies were back then. Nobody did.
No, they called them spiral nebulae.
Yep.
And that was their name.
Took Edwin Hubble to figure out what they were.
Yeah. Okay, Daisy and Zoe. Apologies, everyone. We are going to have to bow out early tonight. We have an appointment early tomorrow. Okay, well, you guys have a good evening. And you know what? No apology needed. I'm very humbled and thankful that you joined us for a little while. I appreciate it very much. So, good night to Daisy and Zoe Amethyst. Hey there, Fantasy. Oh, thank you for streaming. Of course. Look at this galaxy. Isn't this beautiful? That's what I love about this particular camera. We can zoom way in. We're not even... I mean, if we go to our sensor here, this is... Right here, this is 100%. This is the native size of the sensor. This is what it wants to be. Okay? What we usually do is we run it like here, so you can see how big this actually is on the field of view of our sensor. Again, this is 4 full moons across and 3 full moons tall. But we can still go into 100% and see our galaxy. We can even go more, of course. There's no reason we can't go more. But we go too far and we'll start to see pixelation. All right. So there we are. Now we're entering the galaxy. We're in the galaxy, which is very cool. You know, going almost 1,000%. That's so neat. All right. Okay, there is 27 stacked. We're going to pause it here. And I'm going to change this to NGC 253. This is a beautiful galaxy.
Cosmic Ray asked about another galaxy in Sculptor.
Squid Galaxy?
Yeah, NGC 134, the giant squid.
Okay.
It's a good bit smaller than NGC 253 here is. Might be worth a look though.
Okay, well, we're here. Let's do it. Save exactly as seen. It is Galaxy Night. Alrighty. So this will be up on it's actually, as we speak, it's being uploaded to our cloud server out of the observatory deep in the desert, up to the satellites and off to the cloud, where it will be made available to you in just about 45 seconds. So there we go. And then this is our night vision mode right here. And let's back out a bit. There we go. And let's come back to here. Step 1, bring back the computer. Alright. And what do we want now? It's
NGC, what was it? NGC 134.
Okay. NGC 134. There it is. Well, that's not far away. But okay, it might be problematic. We'll try it, but we might have a problem because the looks like the telescope building might be in the way. It's only 19 degrees above the horizon.
Oh.
But we'll see. We'll see it, but it'll be potentially problematic with the wall. Well, maybe not. There it is there. And to test it, I look at the star images and see if I see strange lines on them. Okay, let's go to the east now and bring this over. The glow at the bottom is probably because of reflection of starlight off the walls that we're seeing down here. Okay. On the end of the telescope here, right there, the camera is actually sticking out of the end of the telescope. And what we do is we look at the end of the telescope and make sure that we don't have the end of the telescope near anything that can reflect light, right? Because on the end of the camera, there's a tiny red LED. And that tiny red LED will cast enough light onto the observatory that you can actually see it as a red glow in your system. Okay, this is pretty small, but we'll check it out, right? We'll do this for, let's say, 25 seconds. It's a small object, so it doesn't need more than that. Again, we're at 300 gain. So we'll do that. See what we get. This is for Cosmic Ray. Wow, look at that. Okay, so that's the Sculptor Galaxy. This is, again, as beautiful as I've ever seen it. I've never seen it prettier. I don't know why every night is so beautiful, you know, but... and then we say, oh, that one's even more beautiful. That one's even more beautiful. But that's always true. Okay, let's go back now and let's process this to show all the details. Here we go. There we are. Okay, we have more than one galaxy in this image. We have one here, And we have this galaxy here. Casagray says it's a loosely bound spiral, and its classification, galactic classification, is an SBC. Is that S, capital B, little c, Casagray? Here's another galaxy over here. Hey, Greg O'Brien. Good to see you. All right, let's see what we got here. Wow. This is a smaller galaxy. Unfortunately, we need more focal length to look at this one.
Yeah.
Looks like we got another guy right here. Elliptical, probably. Galaxy here. There. Besides this one, we have that one there. We have one right there. That one right there. So we've got like 6 or more galaxies in this one image. Well, let's try zooming in anyway, just to see what we got. Oh, I guess I didn't wait long enough. I'm getting trails. I didn't wait to be stable. My mistake. I have FOMO, fear of missing out. You know what? I was like that too. Fear of missing what the universe had to offer. Okay, let's clear this and do this again. Because this next one might be better. I think I went a little too soon. Oh no, are we getting wind? We may be getting some wind. Alright, let's do this first of all. Remember last night we got wind kicking up at around this time. That's what happens in the desert. You gotta be wary. Alright, so let's just go look. Okay, so we're at 1 second. 1 second here. Looking for wind. Of course I don't see it now. But this is a small object anyway. Do we have another one we can go to, Daryl? Do you have one you'd like to look at? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Where did Daryl go? I wonder if his computer died. Oh, his computer must have died. Alright, no problem. We'll stick around, wait for him. And that's fine. Okay. Alright.
Oops, hello, sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Looks like I bumped my mute button on the dongle on my headset.
Okay, I thought you had gone away.
No.
Alright, we're going to try this one here. This is the southern Pinwheel. We've looked at this one before.
That sounds good. NPC asked about Messier 29.
Okay.
That's actually in in Cygnus, which we were in last night.
Yeah.
It's a star cluster.
Yep.
What I remember of it, it's okay. It's not that impressive. And somebody got upset that we were in Cygnus last night.
Really?
Yeah, you probably missed it.
I did. Who was upset and why?
I won't say.
Okay, but why were they upset?
Because we'd been there before.
Ah.
They know who they are.
Are they in the chat today?
They are.
Okay, give it up. Who would rather not have seen Cygnus yesterday? Let me know. Okay, this is the southern pinwheel. And we're guiding now. Let's check this out. What we did yesterday was ride right up the Milky Way of Cygnus and give you a great view of Albireo, the Tulip Nebula, Crescent, Gamma Cygni Nebula, North America Nebula, and we kept going north. Went to we tried to go north, and unfortunately we ended up having wind come in and destroy our evening for that moment, but that's okay. Okay, this I want to do this. I want to go let's say 30 seconds on this and see if we're going to have any troubles. Alright, so we'll clear it.
This is the southern.
Yeah, this is the southern pinwheel. You were pretty quiet there. You're not speaking directly into the mic.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. That's better. Okay. That's an interesting looking galaxy. Oh, it's
We've looked at this before.
yes, we have.
The name certainly sounds familiar.
Yep. Zingo. Satellite decided to try to shoot an arrow through the heart of the southern pinwheel. Izabela, what happened to your OneDrive? Actually, you know what? This happened to me. If you're using Firefox, try it with Chrome. If you're using Chrome, try it with Firefox. Try a different browser. Did you try that? I had that problem too. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And good guiding now, so this is good. Work on this. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Alright, let me get your some name in here. Okay.
You are
Okay. What?
pretty far. You are still pointing pretty far south.
Oh, I am. Yeah, we're actually getting, horizon air disturbance as well. Looking through more air.
Looking right over the wall.
I am, and this glow shows that we're probably tipping it just a little bit. Let's see. What would you like to go see?
This may turn out to be a bust, but
Famous last words.
just a second here.
Well, Auriga's getting higher in the sky.
Yeah. Well, on the way up to Auriga, try NGC 7317.
All right. Let's do that. Let's try NGC 7317.
In Pegasus, I believe. So you'll be heading back up toward Auriga.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Getting Auriga, it may be more clusters and galaxies, but
Well, it's Stephan's Quintet. We should be able to check it out. Alright. I won't save this one. That's not really performing tonight. So we'll get out of this and go back into our 1 second night vision mode.
Hedrick, I saw something not about the dog star, but about ancient Egyptian stargazers just earlier today. There's a YouTube channel called Ancient Architects, and I've been watching his videos lately. He talks about ancient architecture in Egypt and places, and he was talking about the Sphinx in this one article on YouTube, and one I didn't know until I saw this today. Rather like how the Egyptians based other the pyramids and other objects on certain alignments in the sky. The Sphinx faces straight toward the constellation Leo. I think they said it was at the heliacal rising of Leo, but this was thousands and thousands of years ago. And due to precession of the equinoxes, that alignment only occurs once every 25 or 26,000 years. You know, once like the Earth's polar axis makes a complete circle in the sky. I just thought that was really interesting. The dog star, well, what do they say about it? When the star Sirius, at its heliacal rising thousands of years ago, that is when it rose with the sun, that was when the Egyptians knew that the Nile floods are about to happen each year, and to get ready to plant rice. So when Sirius rose with the sun, they knew the flood was about to happen. It was about the planting season.
Okay. First, I want to say hello to Claudio Ramos here from Chile. Hello there, Claudio. And we also had a question from Michael Galea. Hello and welcome tonight. He says, how far back are we looking? Well, we're trying to locate Stephan's Quintet.
There it is right there at the bottom of the screen.
Right there. Yep. And Stephan's Quintet is, you're seeing that over 300 million years ago. So that's how far back we're looking at that. This is the Deerlick group over here. There's some galaxies over here. There's one here, one there. This would be somebody else's Andromeda Galaxy.
I should know what that is.
That's Duda. That's exactly right.
7331. Did you see 7331?
Yes, 7331.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stephan's Quintet is down below.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, Stephan's Quintet, I guess.
Yeah.
Find the right screen again. I have too many tabs open. Stephan's Quintet there, that is, as Marc said, it's very far away. It's a really interesting group of 5 galaxies, though. 4 of them, I believe, are physically associated. If I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
They are interacting, and maybe if we build up some images here, we might be able to zoom in on it a little bit.
Yeah.
And they are, what are they, an ARP object? ARP catalog?
Let me go back and look because I'm not sure. Okay, hold on. Let's gesture this out there so people see what we're looking at. Oops. Little typo there. Here we are. Okay, and now right there. That's what we're looking at. Okay, let's go. Stephan's Quintet is Caldwell. Oh, sorry, that's that. What are we looking at here? Go back in here. Yeah, Stephan's Quintet. There we went. And it's NGC 7319. It's not an ARP object.
I thought it was, what am I thinking? Not an ARP object. Something unusual about it, though?
Well, I mean, it's a galactic cluster. So that pulls it into the realm of just being something of note because it's a galactic cluster all its own. I do like this little thing right here. And this is 7311, 7331, I mean. And it has a companion as well. Maybe much more distant. Well, we can see Stephan's Quintet without a problem. You're talking very softly again.
Yeah, sorry. 2 others. If you want to keep moving north, one is back, or one or both is back in Andromeda. NGC 4004.
Okay.
And NGC 891.
All right, let's go see.
I've never seen Stephan's Quintet before that I remember.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's the first for me.
So, I think we'll save it just to save it. Just because. All right. And we have 8 stacked. We'll do 9. Or we'll just go and find what you want to find, then we'll come back and check it out. Okay, so what's the other? Did you say 404?
404 and 891.
Okay. All right, let's see. Is 404 near 891?
They're both back up in Andromeda.
Oh man, they're like, that's Mirage's ghost. That's the Lost Pearl Galaxy. That's tiny. That's a tiny little guy, and I see it though when I go to Mirage. It's very, very tiny though.
Okay.
So let's try.
It's actually what they call Ghost Galaxy.
Yeah, it's right
I
next
guess
to Mirage.
it's like, yes, it's right in line with the.
Yeah, when you look at Mirage, you can see it. All right, 891. Let's see what we got. Silver Needle. Now that sounds fun. Silver Needle Galaxy, I think this one we'll enjoy.
Silver Sliver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Silver Sliver. Okay. Silver Sliver Galaxy. All right. Well, let's go back here anyway, and let's pause this at 10. Actually, wait for the 11th. It's almost there. Just give it more noise. If anyone wants to play around with Stephan's Quintet, you can. Okay, so there we go, and we'll pause it. Save Stephan's Quintet, labeled as such at the top. And then we'll save this exactly as seen. I can't believe I wasn't even going to stream tonight, and I was like, oh, I've got to stream. The night is so perfect. Okay, wonderful. So that's done. Alright, let's get rid of this. And go to 1 second shot here. And go to our night vision mode. Okay.
Some folks may recall, here's the wiki for Stephan's Quintet. Stephan's Quintet was actually one of the first target objects for the James Webb Telescope.
That's right. It was a beautiful set of images it produced.
Yeah.
And it with a 21-foot diameter mirror, you can be sure that was going to be a beautiful object.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So let's go to the Sliver Galaxy. Alright, here we go. It's 78 degrees up in the sky, so it's going to look pretty nice, I would think. We should be getting there any second now. Alright, go by that guy. There it is. Alright. Very nice. Okay.
Reminiscent of 4565.
Yes, sir. The other one that we really like. Let's go into 50% here. Okay. And
Edge on Spiral Galaxy.
yeah.
You can already see the 1 second exposure. You can already see the dark lane running through the middle
You
of it.
can indeed. Alright, so let's go over here. Center it up. Not that it needs to be centered, but this is good actually. I'll be getting a later version of this. I don't know why it's doing this. It says this version of SharpCap is 60 days old, which means that the multi-reticule beta is no longer usable with this version of SharpCap. Well, then just stop using it. Don't keep giving me an error message. Okay. So there we are. So let's try this. Alright, we're guiding now, and I'm pretty sure we're stable, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to do a 35-second shot on this guy and get out of night vision mode here now that we're guiding with alacrity, and then bring in our live stack. There's Stephan's Quintet. There's 7331 with his companion, and now we can get rid of those. Clear. We are clear. And we can get rid of that. Probably that.
Still talking about ancient Egypt and stuff. There was some show, I think it was on History Channel I saw a long time ago. They were talking about the ancient Egyptians and the stars and stargazing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They said that the layout of the Great Pyramids supposedly matched up with
Orion's belt?
Belt of Orion, yes.
Yeah. Well, that was a statement that was made. When you look at the actual alignment, it isn't perfect. But you know what? I can understand why people say it, you know, and it could have been done that way because Orion's belt was actually quite a prominent feature in the night sky. And they knew that if you followed the belt to the left, you'd go to the eastern horizon. If you followed the belt to the right, you go to the western horizon. So it seemed to be something that made sense to emulate with your construction projects, I would think. It is neat, though.
Yeah.
Up you go. This is the
Headrear
Silver
gas.
Sliver.
Does light change color? Can it be changed back again on its journey through space?
That's a fun question, Hedrick.
Loaded.
Yeah, the answer is when you say can light change color, what you're asking is does light change frequency? And the answer is that yes, light is of many different frequencies. And if you have something start out as blue light and it heads away from a star, well, that's high energy light when it's blue. But as it passes through dust, then it's going to get red shifted. And so the energy of the light will be apparently red shifted, and it'll be more red and you won't see it as it truly was. So that's actually a very interesting question. Our galaxy's coming out right nice already, and this is only like a few stacked. Look at this. As Daryl pointed out, you can see this dark lane.
I think we've done this before. That is very reminiscent of 4565 in the Spree Sky.
Yeah, it is.
See that dark lane splitting right through the middle.
Mm-hmm. And it is almost directly edge on to us. A little more on this side than this side. Don't know whether this is the top or the bottom. That doesn't matter, does it? JSCO 77, where you been, man? Alright, hang on, I gotta take off the shirt. It's getting warm in the bunker.
You're not stripping down, are you?
Nope, just taking off my flannel shirt.
Oh.
You sound like you're disappointed.
No, I can't see it anyway.
Oh, that's true. Mike, Aberration of Light. How are you? I'm going to put this now. Let's put it right here. Alright. This is looking pretty. We've got 7 stacked here. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Alright, it'll be alright, but I think I forgot to put our temperature compensation on. So the temperatures dropped from 17 down to 10, down to 9.25 centigrade Celsius in the building. So we're just like in the, it's like 40s or low 40s.
Down in the teens here.
Yeah.
It was 50 Fahrenheit yesterday, and it was in the teens overnight last night. Only got to the low 30s today. It's supposed to be 20s or 30s for highs all week now. And it might snow tonight and snow again later in the week.
Yeah. And Izabela, you're right. It's a shirt that says aliens don't believe in you either. Sorry, Daryl. She made a comment.
No worries. Let me look at the... Oh, I see. I'm looking at the YouTube page now. That's a pretty little galaxy.
It is. We'll go to 10 stacked on this. Maybe more, depending on... I keep wanting to call it a silver streak. It's not. It's a silver sliver.
Sliver.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. All right, we've got
the Disney movie. Oh, that was Flubber.
Yes.
Son of Flubber.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Was that the one with Robin Williams in it?
Oh, golly. No, that was...
I mean, Eddie Murphy was in one. Right?
That was way back in like the early 60s, wasn't it?
Well, that's the original Disney movie. That had like Kurt Russell or something.
Or Kurt Russell when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Mary, yes, I'm in Colorado. I live in Colorado Springs.
Hey Claudio, asking a good question here. Do we? You said I use an oscilloscope for video color calibration. Do you need that tool? I don't, because we actually used digital calibration here. See, like I just did the calibration right now as we just spoke, and I changed the color to a more proper color. So we're using this tool that we're using to capture all these images to do color calibrations. It is tuned to the particular camera that we're using, so that's the most important thing. Alright, that's really pretty. And we're only at 81% on the sensor. We can even zoom in more. Let's go all the way to 100. Okay, this is 100% right here. This is the native size of the sensor right here. Pretty cool. Alright.
I've got too much going on here.
Do you now? Alright, let's do this.
Like aberration of light, I'd have to look it up again. I closed the window. We looked at the Silver Dollar Galaxy earlier, which was NGC 253.
Yep.
That was the big one down in
Sculptor. That's the Sculptor Galaxy.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, this is night vision mode. And let's just gesture you away, because we're done with that. And now, hey Desert Dweller. Is that question for me, Desert Dweller?
JSCO's in Mojave Desert, isn't he?
Oh, so is he asking him?
I don't know.
Oh, he's saying yes. We're southwest of Wickenburg, Arizona. So is that still Maricopa? I'm not sure. We're like 65 miles west of Phoenix. We just have the subtlest of light domes from Phoenix on the eastern horizon. Bortle 2 to 3 skies, Bortle 3 skies basically there, which is the brightness quotient. Pretty cool. Alright, what are we doing next now? Alright, let's see here.
My list has run out.
It did?
Yeah.
Alright, well then let's try looking over into the region east of... What?
404 and 891 were the last two I had.
Oh, okay. Alright, so let's try... let's zoom out here. Let's check out Uranus. I think we should be able to see Uranus. There it is. And we're gonna get a color shot of it, and then you'll differentiate it from the stars.
Just give me a moment, please.
Sure thing.
Be right back.
Yeah. I believe that's Uranus with its moons. Let me do a quick couple shots, say 8 seconds, and you'll see why in a minute. Alright, and we're going to reduce, oh actually, let's bring this down to 100 and increase the exposure to 16 seconds, and then say go and stack it and clear it. And now what do we got? Okay, that looks like it could be it. Let's mess with this here. Oops. Yeah, I believe that is Uranus with the moons. And I have to refocus. So that'll give us back our proper color. I forgot to put on the temperature compensation. I have an equation that does temperature compensation, and I messed it up. Desert Dweller, you're in Mojave County yourself. Okay. Gotcha. And you definitely have light pollution there? From which city? Okay. While I'm waiting here, let's just let's focus again here. Incidentally, you wonder why I'm focusing over many times. Unfortunately, and I gotta get out of here. Unfortunately, what happens is, as the temperature drops, we end up losing our focus. All right, because that changes the way with contraction of metal and things like that. We have a problem with that out in the dome, out in the building in Arizona. Everybody does. It's a common problem. Okay, we're gonna scan in now and build another focus curve. It'll finish early. If it finishes early, it'll say so.
What's a common problem?
Temperature changing focus.
Oh.
This is Uranus in the center there. The thing about Arizona is that it's a dark sky state, so that if somebody moves in next to you and they choose to put in lights that aim up into the sky, you can have them shut right down and have them stop that. You know? Claudio Ramos says, could you use neutral density filters for the lens? Neutral density filters wouldn't help us get rid of the light pollution so much, but that is actually a question that takes us down the path of looking at other filters. Now, our system here, we don't really see light pollution because we're using a very special set of filters, or a filter actually, that's actually only looking at the bands that we want to look at. It doesn't look at any of the bands we don't want to see. But there's bleed through on all bands a little bit. Okay, now that we're focused, let's get out of here. I'll turn on temperature compensation now. So we're at 46,566 with the start of temperature. Okay, good. And let's zoom back into Uranus here, and let's do another shot of it.
Neutral density filters are handy for looking at a bright moon, things like that.
Yeah, but it won't help us with nebulae and stuff like that. It'll actually make them less visible to us. Okay, we're gonna do an 8-second shot again. No, 16-second shot again. I'll just go even 15 seconds. Like this, like that. And see Uranus, nice blue. All right.
There were people remarking during the total lunar eclipse recently that Uranus was in the field with the moon, and I didn't see it. Of course, it was kind of cloudy here, so I didn't have a very good view. But I looked at it on Stellarium, and at least at the time during totality, it didn't really look very that close to the moon. It was a little to its upper left. And,
Okay.
there was an APOD some days ago of a guy in China. Took a picture of it.
Wow.
And he actually caught it eclipsing Uranus.
Okay, that's cool. All right, let's zoom in now. Okay. All right, so here's Uranus, and we should see Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. We have Miranda and Ariel down the bottom. So let's go see. Yeah, there we go. There they are.
See at least 4 of them.
Yeah.
Maybe this one at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, let's zoom in and see. So we're looking at a planet in our solar system with multiple moons. Isn't that crazy?
There's actually color to them.
And there's color, yep. Interesting. That's fascinating. It's fun to look at that. And we'll make a note of this. We'll actually save this. Why not? Alright. And we've stacked 7 of these. Again, this is not a planetary telescope. It's more of a nebula telescope, an expansive thing like galaxies that are big galaxies and extensive nebulae. The next telescope is going to be one that would specifically be used to look at Uranus and see details in that system, as well as looking at Jupiter and Mars and so forth. And we're looking very forward to that. One of the things we're actually considering right now is making yet a third building and putting that telescope in the new telescope in that third building. So we'll have 3 SkyTour LiveStream sites. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we've got 10. So we're going to do this, save it, and save it exactly as seen. And we should be good. Okay. So Uranus will be up there. Let's go now and...
Showed more than I thought it would.
Yeah. Well, we can see the color really nicely. In fact, if we come out of this again, now you can see the color. See, here's Uranus's color now.
Desert Dweller.
Beautiful color.
We look at the moon occasionally, but it's, again, the low power wide field nature of this telescope is not ideal for looking at the moon.
The next telescope will be.
Yeah, we can't zoom in on it much.
The next telescope is going to allow us to do that. We are actually at the point where we can pull the trigger on getting this new telescope right now. But we want to work out the permanent location for it first. All right. So let's go into our night vision mode again and back us out to the full view. And let's go check out what's happening. All right, let's roll out of here. All right. Nice. Okay, so there's Jupiter. And again, Jupiter doesn't show very well. I see Orion has risen, but we can't see it yet. It's too close to the horizon.
Mars.
Yeah. Again.
Can't see it either yet.
No, not quite. But there is something we can look at, which we're going to go see. I think we can go and check out the Flaming Star Nebula.
There's Acapella and the Kids.
Acapella.
The singing goat star.
Yeah, right. I think we can see this. Let's check this out. All right. Off we go. And we're going to the Flaming Star Nebula. Let's see where the telescope's going to go. Even if it goes to the wrong place, yeah, it's going to be too low. Not quite high enough. But I'll show you what it looks like anyway. Alright, let's move it a little bit. Alright. Okay, now this is an example where the roof is we're gonna have a little red glow in here. Primarily because we will have the camera is being affected by this. Let me just, first of all, let's go make sure our sky is clear. This is our all sky camera. Let's do a quick shot of the all sky and let's see if any clouds have moved in. It's looking a little hazy right now, and I just want to make sure that it's not just an artifact. Okay, that's not bad. There's the Milky Way right there. Alright. Alrighty, so our all sky shows that we are still in very good shape. We just are peeking at our building right now. And just for fun, I'll show you what a 25-second shot looks like where we have our building in the way. Alright, so there we go. And let's just throw the live stack in as well, just for fun. Okay, Claudio says, if I buy the right telescope, could I use this software? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. This software is called SharpCap. Anyone can get it. That's this. This is astrophotography tool. I pay for both of these, but you can get both of them for free and use them for free. The rest is custom software. I actually wrote a program to start doing my observatory maintenance routines. That's a separate program that I wrote that controls the mechanics of the observatory. So there's a lot of pieces involved, Claudio, but if you want to start a remote observatory, I'll be happy to help you figure out where you got to go and get where you got to get going. Okay. The Flaming Star Nebula is in the image, but it's not as visible. Let me actually do this. There it is right there. And you see the glow from the red light on the end of the LED. That's actually hitting the dome right there, the building right there. So that's why we can't see this just yet. Okay, wait a little longer. No problem. No problem at all. So let's do this. Let's go back to night vision mode. Alright, and bring that up. Fill the screen. There we go. Okay. So we need to be higher in the sky. Right for now. But this is always a beautiful show.
Hedrick, when I got my first telescope, I was living in a small mountain town up on the hill at the edge of town.
Leadville?
Yeah. I was at, the town was at over 10,000 feet elevation, 10,152 feet in fact, and I was several hundred feet above that, up at the edge of town. And that was the best sky I ever had. It was just dead dark at night, and you know, all I had to do was walk outside. It was great. I got spoiled up there. I observed other places in the mountains. I went up on top of a place called Boreas Pass one night, southeast of Breckenridge, Colorado, and it's over between Breckenridge and South Park, Colorado. I was at 11,200 some odd feet. I forget.
Yes, he said South Park.
That was. I'm sorry.
I said, yes, you said South Park.
Yeah. Well, I was. I mean, Boreas Pass sat on the Continental Divide between South Park and
Right.
Summit County. But I was well over 11,200 feet up there.
Okay.
And again, just absolutely pristine skies. It was a long time ago, though. Light pollution has gotten bad up there, too, nowadays, which is a pity.
Okay, this is the Heart Nebula coming up, and you'll see it here in just a sec, right? And I'm gonna put in. I've got a 40-second timer, and we're gonna bring this up. This is perhaps one of the most visually stunning emission nebula we've ever imaged. It's by far one of the prettiest, and has so much going on that it's literally you got to sit there and stare at it for a while. So this will be a 40-second exposure. Edric, my best sky that I've ever seen is actually where the telescope is right now. It's out in the middle of the desert. You got to drive miles of dirt roads to get there. And when I got there, and watch this, guys, watch this, ready? Boom. Oh, look at that. When I actually looked at this night sky for the first time, I cried. I'm not too proud to say. I don't have anything to say other than the fact that I literally looked up at the sky and the tears came rolling down. It was the most beautiful night sky. And you know, the night sky is considered an ecosystem, a true ecosystem that needs care. And Arizona, being a state that has become a dark sky state, you cannot have lights that aim up at anything. Your lights always have to be full cutoff fixtures. They cut off the light and don't let it go out at an angle up into the sky. If you do, you will get fined, and big fines too. One of the SkyTour LiveStream organizations members with me is Marianne. She's under the weather tonight, but she is a police officer, and so she's well aware of the laws. And you don't want to run afoul of her, I can promise you. Not that anybody would. She's just a very nice person. So zoom in here. There's so much going on inside this nebula. Look right here. Look at this beautiful stalk sticking up. Another one right here. More right here. It's only the beginning, because then right over here we have the dark nebulae that are sticking out over the emission nebulae. And more stuff over here. These are areas that are, again, the dark nebulae could be condensing and compressing under self-gravitational contraction, and that can lead to formation of stars and potentially planets around those stars. This is the Fish Head Nebula. I don't see a fish head. Do you see a fish head?
Yes.
Spoil sport. Where do you see a fish head? All right.
The bright area on the right, that's his fish's lips. It's like the fish is upside down. That's his lips. The dark area to the lower left is his eye.
That is?
The curved dark line farther to the left is the fish's gill.
This guy?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, so it's the fish, not the Fish Head Nebula, the Fish Nebula.
I think they call it the fish's head.
Okay. What do you think of this, guys? Is this a beautiful stellar nursery? You know? Wow. Really just quite something. Again, all from a night when I just wasn't going to stream. But then the night became so perfect that I just had to do it. I had to. I couldn't say no to all of you guys. Because I could imagine that you wonder, gee, what are we going to do tonight? I don't know. Let's go set up a telescope. No, we don't have one. Oh, no, what are we going to do then? I know. Let's go see if that guy is streaming the stars or something. What's this guy's name? I don't know. Some nerd guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go check it out. And sure enough, nerd guy is streaming. Alright, we've done 6 of these. Let's now see how much better the core of this nebula looks. Look at that. See the improvement? See all this detail in here, and in here. Look at this. And let's look at the dark nebula now, over in the edges. Look at that. It's literally wisps sitting in space, hanging out over there. Wow. Down here, look at that guy. Oh. There you come here. That's it. Off. There you go. Let people see this. In fact, let's full screen it, shall we? Oh yes, we shall. Look at this. How pretty is this? The thing about these hot regions is these hot clusters of stars, they have very, very strong stellar winds, and they tend to evaporate gas and dust in their path. Like here, you see these things are pointing back toward the hot stellar members over here, and so these are getting evaporated backwards. That's why they're pointing at it, because it used to be much more stuff and it got pushed back, but the densest parts remain, and the stuff behind those densest parts are shielded by the dense parts up front, so it doesn't evaporate all the way, so it makes stalks. And we have a stalk here, there's a stalk here, and the dynamics are very complex in there. We don't understand the dynamics fully at this point. And there's the fish's head. I guess that looks like a fish. I'd have to say, Daryl, that does look like a fish, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. We've stacked 10 of these now. And right below this is the soul, but we won't look at that one tonight. We did that one before. Here's the Soul Nebula. We do have the double cluster right there. Double cluster is always a showstopper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At one point, we like to do mosaics sometimes, so at one point what I want to do is I want to start with the Heart Nebula, and then I want to actually go and do a complete mosaic that includes the soul in it as well. So you see the size of our field? Okay, that's the angle we're looking at right there. If you notice, it's upside down, right? So we're looking at the soul. We're looking at this is about where we are right now. Okay, we're like right about here. So to do a good mosaic, we have to come down here, then we have to go over to the soul, and then come up and come back here. So we have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 shots.
4 at least.
Yeah.
If you wanted to frame them, I'd have to do 6.
Yeah, we need like 4 stacks.
That seems logical, Captain. Make a pretty picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Hedrick, you're funny. You know what? There are some people, when I give them my name is Marc Dantonio, and they mishear it and they say, okay, his name is Dantonio. Okay. I just let him run with it. Sure. Have at it. I don't care. It's fine. As long as people enjoy themselves here, that's all that matters. I also did magic shows for many years, and we had a stage show that I was part of. And based on my role on the stage, no one could see what I was doing. I was called Dark Man, and the D of my last name was replacing the M of my first name, so I became Dark Mantonio. And I was like, Dark Man! Yeah, that was years of that. Claudio Antonio, like my dad. Hey, there you go. Oh, this is really pretty. My gosh. Let's see what a color correction brings us on this. Yeah, I thought it was pretty close. There we go. Very, very nice. Wow. We can bring in the contrast a little bit. Darken the background. Pull in some more details over here. That's beautiful. Look at that. What a complex region, huh, guys? What a complex region. And if we actually bring in this other histogram over here, you can see what else is in there. It's a specifically very dense region of the night sky. What did Izabela post?
She asked me if I had seen a new image of the Cone Nebula.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what she was talking about, so she posted a link. It's in businessinsider.com of all things.
Huh.
It is a beautiful picture, and it's taken by the very large telescope at the European Southern Observatory.
Oh, very nice. The cone is a beautiful dark nebula spire pillar, basically a stalk.
Looking at it, I thought at first it was a web image from the appearance of it.
Oh, wow. All right, this is looking really pretty. Let's go and let's brighten this up a little bit. Let's go inside. Let's go for a dive. Wow, look at that. Wow. Yeah, we're inside this nebula, let me tell you. Uh-huh. Look at this beautiful highlighting on this emission nebula region. Combination of dust and gas over here, and look at this beautiful filamentary structure right here. This is typical of these nebulae. You see these very, very subtle nebular tendrils, all being moved subject to the winds, the stellar winds of the stars. Hey MPC 305, man, thank you for coming. It was great to have you here. So you have a good evening sleeping, and may you dream of nebulae and star clusters. Wow. Again, the guiding is just spot on. Wow. I do apologize for not giving you guys more notice. But as I said, I wasn't sure I was going to even do this. Look at that cluster sitting inside the nebula. Interesting how the interior of these nebulae gets hollowed out by the copious stellar winds. The dense areas don't get whittled away too quickly, but these areas that have lighter gas and dust concentrations will be emptied quite quickly by the stellar winds pushing outward. This shape, in fact, may be entirely due to the stellar winds being blown out from these stars in this direction. This area might be a little denser, so it's in the process of blowing a bubble. 2 bubbles. Really cool. Well, as we leave the Heart Nebula behind, we'll say goodnight to it.
See, Ramos, that's another loaded question.
What did he ask?
Do you believe in extraterrestrial life?
Oh, well, yes. In fact, most astronomers do, actually. The problem with most astronomers, not me, but the problem is that do we believe they actually could get here from out there? And I personally do believe that. In fact, I think I know how they do it. I actually have been lecturing around the country on the particular methodology that I believe they use. I think they actually generate very, very high levels of gravity through the generation of what are called gravitons by their spacecraft. Because I think that UFO spacecraft, you want to call them that, are actually giant particle accelerators. Or actually not even giant, but small particle accelerators in a very, very nice, tight package at a technology beyond what we know. And if you generate a big enough magnetic field, a gravitational field, using this generation of particles from your particle accelerator on your ship, then you can create a specific type of particle called a Kaluza-Klein graviton, KK graviton. And the Kaluza-Klein graviton will actually envelop your ship. Well, many of them will envelop your ship and create micro black holes. And these particular gravitons are 10 to the 16th times more powerful than the gravitons holding you down right now in the chair you're sitting in. So that means that these micro black holes and Kaluza-Klein gravitons, well, the micro black holes that are generated by this process will actually do something very interesting. They will take your ship and they'll pull it out of the X, Y, and Z moving through time, our 4 dimensions, and move it into a 5th dimension. That 5th dimension is very warped, and all distances are compressed in there, highly compressed. So the farther in you go, the more it's all compressed. So theoretically, you could go from Earth to Alpha Centauri by going the equivalent of a 20-mile drive. So, at 60 miles an hour, it'll take you 20 minutes to get there. Well, in the Kaluza-Klein world, where you're going that way, it's going to take you a very short time to cross vast distances. And the farther into that warped space you go, the 5th dimension, you will find yourself being able to go to many distant places in the universe and across galaxies. It'll be very, 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 very quick, relatively. Now, I'm one of the few astronomers that'll go on the record and say that I think this is how they're doing it. I'm not, I can't prove any of it, of course, because we haven't found them yet, and they haven't come out and said, yes, that's what we use. Okay, but they may be found, and I think that they will, to be honest. Yes, Hedrick, life stacking's paused because we're done with this exposure. We did 22 of these.
Okay, I see the counter still going at the bottom right.
Yes, but that's okay. I paused it because I'm about to save it. Okay, so I had to title it, so we did that. It's saved. Yeah. Save exactly as seen. All right. So we'll get out of that. Back into our beautiful night vision mode. Here we go. All right.
Aren't you going to do the soul?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't want to do that tonight because I don't. It's getting late, and I'm gonna head to bed. But I do want to do one more object, and I think I mentioned it earlier. So,
Double cluster?
You got it. It's exactly what I'm gonna do. All right. There it is. El Double Cluste. And away we go. Now when the double cluster comes into view, you can't miss it. It's just up at an angle away from here. We're zooming our way in, and look at that. There's the double cluster. Well, Claudio, if you're talking about the response to extraterrestrial life, yeah, I have no doubt. And to be honest, I actually think they're here already. I have seen things I can't explain, and I had experiences I can't explain. So, ever since I was a kid, in fact, and members of my family have had them as well, that don't want to talk about them, but they've had them. So,
where are they then?
I think they're underwater in the oceans because they have to hide from us, right? Just like scientists hide in the blind. Well, the best blind in the world for an alien race is underwater. We're not in the deep ocean. And for them to be in the deep ocean would be a piece of cake, actually. It would be very simple for them to be there. So that's where they are, in my view. Yeah.
Voyage to the bottom of the sea comes to mind.
That's right. Da, 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 da.
Especially when they came out, they had that little flyer, you know.
Well, that was the flying sub. FS1 from the Seaview. I made an 8-foot movie scale model of the Seaview for a client. And it was made using the Irwin Allen molds for the original Seaview. So I got to use the yeah. I had the real Jupiter 2 here from Lost in Space. I gave that to Keith from P&K Space Imaging because I just wasn't getting to finishing it. So he's got it in his garage now. I had it here for 10 years and I didn't do anything with it, so I gave it to Keith. So lucky him. But he hasn't done anything with it either. Alright, we're going to do a 15-second shot of this guy, and it's going to be pretty. And I think in order to do this right, let's drop down to 200 gain. Here we are. Alright. So now we're doing it. Let's go into the live stack. Clear the live stack.
Double cluster is a very pretty object in binoculars.
It is. And there it is. And that's actually not even processed yet. Let's just throw in a little processing. Here we go. Boom. And now we'll color correct. Ah, yes. Look at that. It's like glittering jewel boxes in the sky. And the people that know me know that I consider the universe my cathedral. This is the type of thing that makes me very grateful that I decided to go into astronomy.
tell already that the cluster on the left may be foreground objects. I mentioned this before.
The orange stars?
Yes, the cluster on the left has orange stars, and the cluster on the right doesn't.
Well, that's not true. Now, are they in the cluster? Are these in the cluster or are they not? Is this one part of this cluster or is this one part of that cluster? Right? What about that one? Right? That's orange? Is that part of this cluster? And bottom line is, this cluster here looks bigger than this one because I believe this one is a little closer to us.
Yeah.
They're like this. So you have one out here and one closer, but you see them together in the sky and they look like they're right next to each other, but they're not.
Yeah.
Their separation's actually relatively large. They were not formed in the same place, okay, but they were, I don't believe, but they were formed in the same relative region, and they're young enough so that the stars are still in a cluster and haven't migrated away. If you think about it, these stars are all gravitationally interacting with each other. So when they gravitationally interact with each other, the stars will orbit each other. We see this in slow motion, basically the scale of a human lifetime, right? But over time, they're dancing around each other, doing all this stuff, and whipping members away, and so forth. And that's going to happen long term. So most clusters will disperse over time. You know, hello, Judy McClellan.
That reminds me of something. I'm not sure the person's even here anymore. Somebody asked a while ago if we could detect motion in nebulas over the course of time.
Well, the answer is yes, we can, and we do, especially if it's fast moving. We've seen motion in the Crab Nebula, of course.
Yeah.
It took 100 years to see it.
Yeah. Well, I think he meant us in particular, had we seen it. And that was going to be my standard answer with the Crab Nebula.
Okay.
That was like 70 years worth of exposures or more, wasn't it, to see the change in the crab?
Yeah, but the thing is, depending on the distance to the nebula, we still might be able to take some of the SkyTour LiveStream imagery we've done and compare it to some of the older imagery that was done in the early 1900s. And we might have up in our database right now a history-making image. We just don't know it yet. You know, it just takes someone to go through and do that research, which is what, of course, I want to do as well. I love when Cosmic Ray's here. He comes out with all these beautiful factoids about the clusters and things we're looking at. It's like, we should call you Caption Ray. You're the guy that will make all the captions for all of these things, because you got it, man. Thank you for that, brother. Claudio, thank you for those nice comments, by the way. We're very, very happy that you enjoy being here with us. And we will continue this. So we took 15-second exposures here. Let's dive in on this cluster over here. I think this is the closer one. Let's dive into this one. Okay, now that we're here, these orange stars, as Daryl pointed out before, don't belong in this cluster. Now, and this one neither. So why are they here? Well, these stars may have been in a cluster of their own at some point in the past, and they might be, I have to look and see if these are M dwarf stars or M giant stars. They'll still be orange no matter what, so I have to figure those out. I'm not sure what they are, and that'll tell me a lot about where they were born and what could have happened to them.
Can I hazard a guess here?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Uh, because they're orange or red stars, they are not the same age as the cluster stars, which all formed at about the same time.
Correct. I mean, that one, that's a given. You're right. I'm just saying that these four stars, where did they form? Yes, they are superimposed over the cluster here. So think of these stars as being in front of the cluster, and the cluster's behind it. I mean, we'd have to confirm that. You can't make anything. You can't take any of that as gospel until you actually check it out. However, as orange stars, they're all about the same brightness to each other, which means that maybe they are physically near each other in the sky. I mean, this one could be like really close to us, and this one could be really far away, of course. But I'm going to hazard a guess that they're actually roughly the same distance to us.
They do look very similar.
Yeah,
and just looking at that, the immediate impression is that yes, they're, I guess, as you said, maybe in their own little cluster in front of the distant left-hand double cluster.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're either highly evolved or they were born as M type stars.
Yeah.
And it's possible that all of these M type stars possibly could be related to them. Because you can have some M type stars, if they're close, that will look brighter than M type stars that are not. But not a single M type star, the most common, most prevalent star in the entire universe, M type. You have O, B, A, F, G, K, M. The M type star is the most populous, and you can't see a single one with your naked eye. You need binoculars at the very least, and even then, it's a stretch. You need a telescope to see almost every single one of them. It's amazing. They're the faintest stars there is because the M dwarfs, anyway, the ones that are fusing hydrogen into helium, are very, very small stars in diameter. They're roughly just about a little bigger than Jupiter, and in some cases smaller than the planet Jupiter, and they're whole stars. They're just compact stellar packages. We found one, actually, that was smaller than the planet Jupiter. Outrageous.
The feeling I get just looking at that, those strike me as big red giant stars.
They do, because they're big and red. I'm not sure if that's what they are, but they could be highly evolved. Either way, though, when they're orange, we know that what the temperature is. It's about 3,800 Kelvin on their surfaces. And even as a giant star, it'll be that. Because a star that's a small M-type star that's fusing hydrogen into helium will still have a 3,800, 3,500 Kelvin surface temperature. And a massive giant star will be so big that its formerly extremely hot gases will be cooled enough as it gets larger that they will be brought down to about 35 to 3,800 Kelvin as well. So you can't tell by looking at them whether they're giants or whether they're M-class stars. If you want to know for sure, you have to take their spectrum. You have to break that red light up into the constituent colors and see the chemical elements that are creating what are called absorption lines in the spectrums of these stars. And whatever these spectra are showing, that will tell us what the star is made of, and thus where its step in evolution sits. Now, to do that kind of work, I have right behind me in my drawer here, I have a spectroscopic imager, and I'm working out a method by which I can attach it to the telescope behind me for the East Coast telescope, where we'll be able to look at these stars and classify them and figure out what's in their spectrum and see it visually, what's in their spectrum. That's what this instrument will do. It's a slit spectrograph is what it is, and it would tell us a great deal about the stars. So that's what we're aiming for. So on nights where Arizona's clouded out, we'll have this telescope out here, and we'll look at stars, and we'll do spectra and figure out just what's going on with the spectra. And that's kind of cool. I like that idea. Okay, this is the double cluster. This is our final object tonight. So I will wish you the best for the evening, and hope that you guys really enjoyed coming tonight. Again, I didn't even know I was going to stream. I just saw the quality tonight and said, oh, I've got to do something. Got to do something. So, any last questions? If anyone has any questions, let's pop them in the chat now. Let's talk about them. Cosmic Ray says he can't find the stars. Thank you for looking. Did you go into the SEDS database or NED? Aladdin might have it too, Cosmic Ray. So you might want to check those out. Yeah, Cosmic Ray. The idea is, if it's going to be clear, the idea is that we're going to stream from more observatories all at the same time. So we will have a high focal length system, a wide field system, and other systems. Yeah, go ahead, Hedrick. Ask your loaded question. That's fine. How much categorization data is there on each star in the night sky? Excellent question. Well, as you can see, I can answer that question. I saved this, by the way. So let me just make sure I did save it. I believe, yes, I did. Okay. So now let's get out of this. And let's go back to our night vision system prior to closing up. All right, and you'll see the double cluster in the night vision green. Okay, so here's the deal. If we look at our planetarium system, all right, if you look at a star, let's pick one. All right, here we go. What star is this? Okay, this is the star 11 Persei. Notice all these lines across all this, all right? We have 11 Persei. It's in the Hipparchus catalog as star 12692, all right? It's in the HR catalog as 785. It's in the Henry Draper catalog as 16727. And it's in the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory catalog as 23555. This is all the information we have about it. And that's not the end of it. There's a lot more. They have their spectra stored. You can get their spectra. This is a star that's called a B star, all right? And it's actually a star that's known as a subgiant. It's a B8. So it goes from like, OBA, FGKM, but within there's 10 levels. So you have a B0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, this is a B8. And depending on the intrinsic brightness of it and where it is in its evolution, it could be a Roman numeral 1A, Roman numeral 1B, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, Roman numeral 4, Roman numeral 5, which is what the sun is. It's called a dwarf. Roman numeral 6, which is a dwarf, like a white dwarf, okay? So this is a Roman numeral 4. It's called a subgiant. And it's actually a very interesting star in its own right. So this is just some of the data that we have. There's tons more data, Hedrick, on all these stars out there. And if you really want to know what's out there, you can check out the databases online. As I mentioned to Cosmic Ray, one of them is Aladdin. Another one is SEDS, S-E-D-S. So Sierra Echo Delta Sierra, SEDS. And you can also go to the NED, N-E-D, November Echo Delta database as well. So you can see a whole bunch of those data, and of course the Gaia survey, as Cosmic Ray mentions as well. So there's information from each of these studies. If you go to SEDS, that's the best place, because then you can see all the studies that were ever done on this star, all in one place. And let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. Okay, you have to ease into it. Okay, so if you want to know more about this stuff, you can do that. The SEDS has a portal where you can actually go and just search the sky, pick a star. Oh, look at that! What is it? And it gives you all that information. More of a little bit of a user-friendly approach. Yeah. Hedrick says SEDS, got it, sweet. Okay, nice. All right, good. Well, enjoy that. And if you have questions about any of those databases, let me know. But for now, folks, I just want to share with you one last thing, and that is that I have enjoyed doing this impromptu stream with all of you. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would stream. It's not that I didn't think I'd enjoy it. Of course I would. But if you're curious about everything we do, check out right down here, SkyTourLive.com. SkyTourLive.com is where it's a portal to all this data. It tells you all about SkyTour LiveStream, tells you all about the history of it. And you get to learn a little bit about astronomy while you're there too. There's a gallery of imagery that we've done. You can go to our database and check out everything that we've done. And one of our people here in the chat, we call her Database Girl, she has taken all of our observations from the end of last year, including last year, and put them into a database. So we're making an application that will allow you to search for every time we image the Orion Nebula and what's it look like. So you'll be able to go through and see all the stuff we've done, one after another, bam, 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 if you want to. So it's a project that it was ambitious to get the data in, but I have to say, this is Robin Curtis. She spent an amazing amount of time doing this on her own, and she was doing it before she even told me about it. And next thing you know, I was like, wow, oh my gosh, she did such a beautiful job. So she was here earlier. I think she's probably gone to bed because she probably has to work. But in any case, we have a whole lot to look forward to. Second observatory, maybe 3 actually, if we follow through on what I think we're doing. So we've got a lot coming up, and I look forward to seeing you again. So you guys, you enjoy your night and enjoy the amazing views on the database if you want to, and I will be here again the next time around. And this is, well, there's that music. You know what that means. All right, so you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you the next time. Good night, all. You can say good night, Daryl. You can.
Good night, everybody.
There you go. All right, good night, everybody.